baby.
Oh yeah, baby, we live. All right, welcome back to another Oakland Slam. I am your host, Colin Edmonds, aka Cornrow Colin. Today we have a very special show for you. Instead of having a slam, we have a Black artist showcase as a way to show solidarity and bring together the Black community and support Black causes and Black organizations. So today is not just a showcase, it is a fundraiser. We are raising money for the Afro Urban Society. The Afro Urban Society is a creative community committed to sustaining the resiliency and interconnection and unique artistic and cultural expressions and contributions of people of African descent in urban settings around the world. That was a mouthful. Long story short, what they do is they connect people from the African diaspora with continental Africans to share culture, understanding, and conversation, which is really amazing and really necessary in our communities today. So our goal by the end of this show is to raise $1,000. We are already, before the show, raised $150. So let's start off by trying to reach $500 by the next 3 poets. I think y'all can do it. I think y'all want to do it. So let's make it happen. But without further ado, we have a collection of artists, poets, musicians, lyricists from all over the country, as well as amazing feature. So our lineup is Adam, Bambi, Jeremy Vasquez, Reggie, and Sean William. Give it up in the chat for everybody reading tonight. So you're going to see a lot of amazing artists. So let's get this thing kicked off. On deck, we have Bambi, but give maximum love to our first performer. Give it up for Adam.
Woo! All right, can y'all hear me? Y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is the djembe, very perfect for the Afro Urban Society. So I like to take different African rhythms and mix them with different rhythms and styles of the African diaspora. So anyway, yeah, I've been trying to tell folks, like, with Black Lives Matter, it's important to celebrate Black life when we're actually living, which means celebrating our culture. So anyway, this one's inspired by Johnson.
give it up one more time for Adam. Before you go, Adam, I want to ask you a few questions. What have you really been up to? What have in the last few weeks with everything going on? How have you been taking care of yourself?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard not to, not pay attention to what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So, I have a podcast called Real Sun Car Hours, so I've been focusing on that. And honestly, man, like the drum and African drumming, like keeps me. It's really helpful for a time like this. This is yeah.
I've always felt like since the first time you ever performed at, was it Rich Oak or was it Oakland Slam? One of those.
It was one when you had. It was at one building. Was it Alchemy or was it?
Yeah, it was probably Alchemy. It was Alchemy. Arvin's saying it's Alchemy. Okay. So the first time when you performed at Alchemy, your drum has always been a very grounding presence in our space. So I can definitely see how that helps in times like this.
Yeah.
So do you have any advice for the people out in the internet world?
In terms of
anything you want to tell them about how to handle these times, any knowledge that you want to part out to the people?
Oh yeah, I would say I'll just stick my advice just to Black folks. Because I feel like what I'm going to say is going to be different for Black people versus people outside the Black community. I would say, just like we have a very beautiful culture and peoplehood outside of death, and because one thing that because in addition to music, I write. I'm a freelance journalist. I've been doing it for like almost a decade. So I've been writing about police violence for a long time. So I don't think it's healthy to keep consuming Black death over and over again. So I think it's important to remind yourself of how beautiful Black culture is. I think there's a beauty to Black culture and Black community and Black people that I think is really important to not lose sight of, and to just embrace being Black. Like I think I love being Black. I mean, I grew up in a Black household and Black culture. Like I love it. That's why I play the drum. It's like I like my culture, the African diaspora culture, and I think it's important to keep that in mind. And for people outside the Black community, get your ass in the struggle. That's what I would say. Like, just like it's not enough just to read books about racism and all that. Like, if you're outside the Black community and you care, like get your ass out in the struggle in the streets and keep fighting. There's this the first Black congressman from Harlem, Adam Clayton Powell Jr. He had this phrase called he said keep the faith. So that's something I'd like to think of. Just keep the faith and stay frosty. Don't get tricked by some of the reforms being passed, because like you know what I mean? Like I've seen it. I'm a journalist. I've seen this stuff before. So it's like it's important to just stay frosty and I like what's the fuck a reform. Yeah.
I forgot who said this, but they said you can't stick a knife in my back, pull it out 2 inches.
Malcolm X.
Progress.
That was Malcolm X.
X. Yeah. So realize that just because there are reforms, the struggle's not over yet.
Because there's just a lot at stake, and they're gonna try to do what they can to pacify the people.
Nice.
So don't stay frosty. That's what I'd say. Stay frosty, and for Black folks, like just appreciate Blackness, Black culture, and it's just that's why I said what I said before I performed. Like, this is a celebration of Black life to remind us of where we come from, how beautiful we are.
Right. Well, the live stream seems to love you. You have a lot of support and praise and claps. So since these people love you so much, where can they support you?
Yeah, so I have a SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/AdamHudson5. ADAMHUDSON number 5. And then I also have, like I was saying earlier, I have a podcast called Real Sankara Hours. We named it after Thomas Sankara. It's like a Black leftist podcast. So we're on Twitter at Sankara Hours. So SANKARA hours, like time, like hours. Then we're on Patreon. So if you want to become a subscriber, so we have a lot of episodes. If you're a subscriber for $5 a month, you get bonus episodes. So we've been doing, we've been doing interviews. We did an interview with someone who's in Seattle, who was at the autonomous zone.
Mm-hmm.
We did we've we got a lot of really cool stuff because both my friend Peter and I have been involved in activism. So so patreon.com/real Sankara hours. And we're also on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/real Sankara hours. And we're on we're also on Spotify. So if you use if you need an RSS feed, we're on Podbean. So podbean.com/real Sankara hours. But for my, work, my music, soundcloud.com/Adam Hudson 5. And then also if you go to my SoundCloud, I link to the podcast. So you can easily find the podcast right there. So
nice.
Yeah. And my SoundCloud also has SoundCloud did this for musicians. There's like a donate button, so you can donate.
Hey.
Yeah. So my PayPal is there. It links to the PayPal. So if you go to soundcloud.com/Adam Hudson 5, you'll see my music. You'll see a donate button. It's like a blue button on the right. Click on that if you want to donate money. And and I have my podcast up there. It's all linked up. So if you find the SoundCloud, it's all there. So
all righty. Thanks so much, Adam.
Yeah.
All right. Give it up one more time for Adam Hudson, the fieriest hands in the drumming world. All right. So we have officially hit $160 out of our goals. That's cool, but it's not good enough. We need y'all to up that. If you want to donate, you can donate to us via PayPal at paypal.com/Berkeley Slam or via Venmo at Rich Oak Slam. You can donate between $1 and $1 million. Just make sure if you donate $1 million, write that check out to Colin Edmonds, and I'll make sure it goes to the right place. All right, let's move it right along. On deck, we have Jeremy Vasquez, but coming up right now, give maximum love in the chat for Bambi.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
So I have a poem for you today. It's new shit. So I will New shit? Okay. Listen to your own breath. In, out, like clockwork. Listen closer. You might be able to hear the breath of your neighbor. In, out, like clockwork, like time. The breath is constant. The breath is necessary for life, like in, out, in until it stops. When someone takes away the breath, cuts time short. Did you not feel that pause when our hearts stopped beating? When someone has a responsibility to protect and takes away the breath, cuts time short, is that not the definition of wicked? We pay for the devil's paycheck, and he kneels on our neck, silences and calls you belligerent within the same breath. If you look into the eyes of a system and see a raised gun, a dehumanizing glare, is that not an act of systematic cruelty? When you look like me, alive until not, breathing for now, we could die for this skin. Does that not already feel like an attack? We've stood for our community and they've kicked our calves. We've stood while they've shot. We stood until our knees buckled. See, standing is no longer an option. We must move ourselves to the streets, move our checks within our community, move so the next generation can breathe in, out, uninterrupted. Finally, understand. No one can take another Black breath and go home unscathed. Can't call it the law. We will not be broken. Listen to your own breath. In, out, out, that is your power. We must demand that this system we call America respect it. And that's that.
Nice, nice, nice. So great to have you back. You are always one of the best poets.
Oh my God.
Come on. Don't act like you don't know. You kill it every time you perform. How have you been holding up the last few weeks?
Barely. Barely. This is all, it's nothing new, you know? We've known about police brutality like this for as long as I can remember, you know? So it's nothing new, but what is new is the amount of informing that I feel like I've been tasked with. And sometimes that is cool. Other times it's overwhelming. So it's been on and off all right. But definitely, I don't know, during this time, you know, some of us, all of us really have work to do, you know, and we're called in this time, whether it be to donate, whether it be to raise awareness, whether it be to share our art, whether it be to uplift other people in our community, march, protest, whatever. Like, we all have a responsibility at this time, because it's really no longer able to slide. Like, it's not, no, that it's the breaking point now. So it's been hard.
Yeah. I would definitely say, especially when you have to be the person informing others, that's where it gets like, that's where it gets really hard. That's a lot of emotional energy that you give out there. There, like, just advice. I'm gonna give advice to Black people and advice to the rest of y'all, which is very similar advice. First, for Black people, respect your emotional energy. I started, when people hit me up to ask, even just to say, hey, how are you doing during this time? If you are not Black, then chances are, especially if you hit me past 10 p.m., that you're going to get a Cash App. You're going to get a Cash App link. Because this is a movement like ending police brutality, not abolishing the police, all of these things that people are talking about now, Black folks have been talking about and been organizing about for the longest. And just because people are just now getting with the picture doesn't mean we have already spent a whole bunch of labor getting them on the same page. This isn't something that was sudden. It took a lot of years of work. It took a lot of people to die for shit like this to even, for this platform to be available. So respect the people who put in that work. I guess that's the advice for everybody.
Yeah, respect the people that put in the work. Because it's one thing, because people do come from a fine place, like they're checking up, whatever, but they don't realize that is emotional labor. Yes. Like, that is a lot on someone who is traumatized. You know, the Black community, we are traumatized. This is years and years of trauma placed on us that now everybody wants our opinion on. I can tell you, we're tired. Like,
and what folks really need to understand is that the access to that information for non-Black people is really it's a conscious thing. It's a I want to feel like I am doing better. I think this is bad. It makes me feel bad. So let me step up and do something to make it better. With Black folks, it's a necessary tool of survival. We need to know the cops are fucked up, because if we don't, they will kill us. So it's not going into situations and having these conversations, especially with Black folks, knowing that this is a conversation that has been necessary to their survival, and treating it as such, and not a leisurely conversation that you just have over dinner or at brunch.
Nothing about this is casual.
It's
nothing about this shit is casual. It's like,
I see some people acting a fool in the rest of the Zoom. They literally love that quote.
it's true. Like, people go around acting like this is, like you said, like dinner table talk. This shit is not dinner table talk. Like this is the shit that my mom had to have talks with me about since I was like 5 years old. You know, this is not some shit that you can just ask me how I'm doing and now, oh man, like your white guilt erased.
And something I don't think people think about is that the ability to think about these issues all the time is kind of a luxury. I personally have to shut myself off at times, which kind of pisses me off when people ask me how I'm doing. Like, I know this is going on. How are you doing? I was like, well, I was doing good until you reminded me about it.
Fucking brought it back up again. I was having a mighty fine day. It's really that. Like, it's wild. Like, the reactions of non-Black people, and I think sometimes it goes back to that savior complex, you know, like the white savior shit. Like, I don't need you to white save me, you know. What I need you to do is go out that door and fucking defund my police. Like, that's what I need you to do. I don't need you to come to me asking me all these questions. No, because I've been writing poems about this. You've been knew how I felt about this. You know what I'm saying?
There are also other resources than someone who is.
There are other resources.
like people wrote, like Black people wrote books on this shit so that we only had to traumatize ourselves once, and then other fuckers can read about it.
Period.
So if you have a question, I would say, before you ask Black people in person,
Google it.
Google it.
Look, those are resources that you will not be actively traumatizing while seeking out that information. Wow.
Read. Look for some book lists.
They got audio books too. No
audio books
anymore.
Audible.com.
They got audio books. The information is extremely accessible. It's whether or not you want to take the emotional care to find it in the most emotionally supportive way.
Yep.
All right. Where can people support you? Because you can't be dropping this knowledge for free.
So you can follow me on Instagram at Cathartic Flower. Cathartic, like cathartic, but dick instead of tick. Flower. Also, you can buy my book. Oh, yes.
Ooh,
okay.
Books.
You can buy this. Let's see. It's called Accidentally Ordered an Espresso. If you go to my Instagram and you DM me, I can give you the link to my book and you can buy it and then you can support me. Or if you just want my Cash App or my Venmo, it's also Cathartic Flower. And that is how you can directly support me.
All right. All right. Well, thanks so much for coming out. Yes. Give it up for Bambi one more time. Go hit up their Cash App. Also, latest update, we have raised $205. Oh, I see. Y'all like being challenged directly. Okay, so I want to reach $500 by the end of the next poet. Easiest way to do that is if just 3 of y'all dropped $100. I know most of y'all spend more money on that a week for weed. So how about you just go ahead and buy an ounce for a Black owned and ran nonprofit, especially one run by Black queer women. So, instead of buying that ounce, buy some opportunities for some niggas. I think that is a way better spent money. So on deck, we have Reggie, but coming up to the stage right now, give maximum love to Jeremy Vasquez.
What's good? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You always throw me off seeing this twin energy. I'm like, never seen it up close. I'm loving it. But all right, let's get right to it. Excited. Lately, the world has become such a quiet place. No more city traffic, no more large gatherings. It's like the deep blue sea can finally breathe again. Even the hills have eyes. Feels like a sinister conversation between the men in black and the boogeyman, but I can't tell the difference. The only resident evil I see here is the government. The monster in America's closet is us. It's like the earth stood still for a sec and took a seat in the director's chair and is conjuring up the kind of feature film that even the brilliant mind of Stephen King could not create. Friday the 13th, the quarantine went from extended spring break to doomsday. But ain't nobody coming from planet Krypton to save us. These tales from the crypt get everybody running to find Jesus or doing push-up challenges. The apocalypse now will be televised and Instagram and Facebook Live. 28 days later, I'm convinced all high school seniors will get the diploma in a chat room. The day after tomorrow was child's play compared to what's in the midst today. 2020 was supposed to be everybody's year, but in hindsight, it's become more of a twilight zone. This might actually be a Planet of the Apes after all, if we don't find an antidote for this contagion. If you want to see The Purge, go to a local grocery store. Watch people kill over the last roll of toilet paper. Someone coughed in lane 6, got swept off the floor faster than you could say Apollo. Society can't hold their horses. Everyone's losing their head. Feels like an episode of Sleepy Hollow. I've been using so much hand sanitizer over the last 3 months. I've become ashier than a line to get a chicken sandwich from Popeyes. Scrolling my timeline got me going psycho. My family went to a cabin in the woods, but I had to pass. My black ass has seen the Blair Witch Project, and I'll be damned if I'm the first person to die in this scary movie. If this is the end, I want to go out like I Am Legend, Sigourney Weaver, bobbing and weaving with some aliens, or go toe-to-toe with another type of species. I'll fight some ghost on Mars. I'll do anything but say Candyman 5 times in the dark, because life imitates art, and my bathroom mirrors are for thirst traps and selfies, not final destinations. The world's coming to an end, and I still ain't found my soulmate. But every time I get on Facebook, a new ex has found a way to slither in my DMs. At least I don't have to worry about paying off those student loans. So I'm saving all my dinero for Grubhub, because as you can see, the only snack left in the house is me. I'm beginning to look like an American werewolf in London, drinking Bloody Marys, but all I really want to do is hood rat activities with my best friends. We can't gather in groups larger than 10 though. The next time I go outside with a face mask on, it might be Halloween. And that's okay, that shit falls into Saturday. This year, I'm thinking of being Captain Planet. I know they have a costume my size on eBay. Besides, I've seen stranger things. Like what brought pollution down to zero was not a superhero and Planeteers. It was a virus named after my favorite beer. Yeah, there you go.
All right. That was fire. I love your energy. I really love your energy.
Thank you. Can I do a twerking poem real quick? It's like 2
minutes. What you mean?
You know what I'm saying? I feel like I want to get my little small ones out. I definitely want to thank Berkeley Slam, Oakland Slam artists for inspiring me to tap into my inner ratchet. You know who you are. Let's get right to it. This piece is called The Apocalypse Comes with Twerking. Somebody slid in my DMs last week talking about real men don't twerk. Let me get that right. Somebody slid in my DMs last week talking about real men don't twerk. But what I do with my thick thighs does not make me hold my head any less high. I remember watching Prince move his hips like there was freedom in his bones. Controversy always a turn away. His little red Corvette gave my lowrider the green light to defy gravity, bouncing his backside like it was laced with hydraulics. See, my body contorts every time the beat drops. A sacrifice for the gods, and I will present this offering every time I hear a DJ spin Cash money taking over for the 99 and the 2000. Something mystical about the way I shake it fast, but watch yourself before you treat with content. This is the inheritance of my buku, which makes me the beneficiary of muscles that can bend without breaking. The vibranium in my bone marrow has no return policy. The West Africa in my back cannot be colonized. So would I like a shake with those fries? Yeah. And while I'm at it, make it supersized, because freedom is worth torment. You run that back. Freedom is worth torment. It's like running a marathon with a torment is crawl if I must, but I promise you, I just won't quit. Whether I'm getting scalped or hellfire at the pulpit, you can catch me in the basement parties of East Oakland to the cathedrals in the Dominican Republic, shaking everything below my spine. Because unbeknownst to you, I was born a freedom. So I've been fighting for my right to be here since I was a fetus. And in my extra, yeah, and I still don't fit. Ridiculed since I was in grade school. Told men like you cannot do the Macarena. Told men like you cannot shed tears. But my limbs have been crying out ever since I fit below the windowsill. And to this day, I still don't fit, if nothing. My students will remember me as the first male they ever came in contact with to break out of the glass ceiling of toxic masculinity. So in touch, my divine feminine side, Mother Nature sends ladybugs as a gentle reminder to keep living a vibrant and a colorful life. So I can never be a stunt double to my own true nature. And it's mahogany can no longer be policed, objectified, or repulsed without my consent the next time a nigga slides in my DMs talking about what real men can and cannot do. And at the same time, it took you to find judgment in my self-expression. I have found grace in my response. I understand people cope by what they project. And I'm subject to pop, lock, and drop. And return 10 times, 50 times, 100 times harder than ever. Will the apocalypse come with twerking? Yeah. Will the apocalypse come with some twerking? Hell yeah. Thank you.
Nice. All right. Where can people find you?
So you can find me in the streets.
Yeah, you everywhere.
Usually I'm teaching or I'm in juvenile halls and jails, but right now because of the coronavirus, I'm trying to limit my outside speaking. I have been performing lately at a few of the protests.
I'm about to say.
I'll be outside this weekend in Lake Merritt. If you want to pull up on me, I'll be out there performing all weekend. So bring your ass outside if you want to, come out and get some food and keep yourself 6 feet distant. Also, I have an open mic I host every Sunday. I got some features in here this Sunday coming up, Bambi and Reggie. Pretty much I bring the community together and I showcase artists from the different parts of the world. For this month, I'm going to be showcasing Pride artists. So I'm trying to raise money for our community and give back to people that need it the most. So I can be found there every Sunday night on Zoom. Check my Instagram or my Facebook and find the info there.
Nice. All right. Thanks so much for coming out. Check out Jeremy Vasquez on Instagram. You've probably seen him on 32 different people's Instagram. He everywhere. All right. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
All right. So if my calculations are correct, we have hit $255. Woo, but it's not 500. So I'm still challenging y'all. I need 3 people to donate $100. Everybody else, donate what you can. But I know there's 3 people out there right now who got the money to be able to donate it to an amazing cause. Afro Urban Society is a really amazing organization. In fact, our next performer was a fellow in one of their fellowships this year. So on deck, we have Sean William, but give maximum love to Reggie.
Hey, gang. I'm glad I'm next because Colin is the nice one. I'm not so nice. It's not just important to say Black Lives Matter. It's not just important to say you support Black community and say Black artists. It's important to support the organizations and the people that are making that shit happen. So I don't want no bullshit. Y'all know me. I'm not gonna give you bullshit if you don't give me bullshit. So real talk, let's get this organization at minimum $500. I need you need to donate to keep these spaces open. This is an organization that's run by queer Black women that are doing amazing work for other queer Black women. Specifically, a lot of their programs are for queer Black women and gender nonconforming folks. So and especially right now, when you have Black women being murdered by the same movement that they are fighting for, when you have Black trans people being murdered, when you have Black queer people being forgotten and murdered, put your money where your motherfucking mouth is. If you're not donating to causes and you're not actively supporting the people that are making this movement happen, you don't have the right to say Black Lives Matter, because you ain't showing me that Black Lives Matter. So like, come out of pocket. Every single white person that's watching this should definitely open their wallet now, pull out their credit card, and donate. There's no excuses. We needed reparation 400 years ago. You are 400 years late on your rent to this country and to these people. Now is not the time to debate whether or not you should give the money. Now is the time to give it up and to pay what you owe. This land, our culture, our people, we are no longer free. Pay for it or you'll pay for it. You know, if we're not putting arts in Black communities, that's what leads to crime. That's what leads to murders. When we are not funding arts and cultural enrichment within our community. Without culture, people are animals. So if we're not funding the cultural importance of, if we're not funding the cultural organizations that are connecting Black people with culturally relevant art forms, like fuck Basquiat, we're learning African art, we're learning African dance, we're learning Afrofusion, we're doing things that are for us, by us, through this organization. And if you can't support that, you don't support Black people. So if you support Black people, you need to be supporting this. And you're probably saying, but what about all of these white organizations that are doing great work in the community? And I say, fuck them. Because if they were doing such great work in the community, why hasn't any of that white money touched my hands? My community, why are we still in poverty? Because you only want to support us as long as you want a pet. You don't want a movement. And so this is a poem on that. When the white woman cries, after being told her help is no longer needed, I want to tell her that white savior syndrome is the salt of her tears, is the water in her eyes, is the ocean drowning the shoreline before claiming it should be thankful for the moisture. White savior syndrome floods the entire hood, then congratulates itself on teaching niggas how to swim, never acknowledges how many bodies sank underneath its waves, and white savior syndrome makes the biggest waves, calls it splashing around, just another party, just another way to make things fun, thinks helping is entertainment and not necessary, but white savior syndrome thinks itself necessary, is one of the good ones, will go out of its way to say it's not racist, but won't go out of its way to not be racist. White savior syndrome will lend out a hand, then collect interest on the bill, will make the most noise, and then expect a check afterwards. White savior syndrome is the empty belly of every African child Sarah McLachlan done sang over, is the Instagram post with the hungry Negro and the caption #blessed. White savior syndrome will steal all of your food and then give like 3/5 of it back as a charitable donation. Then will spit in your face when you ask about the rest of your barren plate, or the rest of your barren lands, or all of its barren smile. White savior syndrome is a lipless plague, is the locust and fire and brimstone and rivers turned into our blood. White savior syndrome is a vengeful God, thinks itself Jesus, but never carried any cross, never felt the crack of a whip on its back or pierce of a soldier's lance. White savior syndrome is the very art of making destruction look constructive, and you want to cry because we don't want to bring it into our homes, so close to our children that they can taste its hot breath before they feel the sharp edge of its teeth. So no, Karen, we don't need any of your thoughts or your prayers or your good intentions. We don't need that kind of bullshit at the rally or the inner city school or the missions trip to the third world country whose name you can't even pronounce correctly. White savior syndrome is a blood-dipped snarl demanding attention, demanding to be seen. It says, look how good of an ally I can be. Look how much I will take with me if you force me to go. I am the bitch that taught you how to float. I waterlogged the lungs of the last nigga to call me by name. Sang a pretty song while you cried at the funeral. Be grateful you are wet and nothing more. I am, after all, the only thing holding your heads above the damn water.
All righty. Thank you so much for that. I would ask you if you had any advice for the community, but you already gave it.
No, I do have some advice. On top of that,
All right.
stop asking Black people what you can do. Because first of all, we've told you what you can do. Second of all, pay us. Pay Black people. Pay Black organizations. Pay. Everything you've stolen from Black folks is wealth. Everything you owe to Black folks is wealth. Pay up. Your rent is due. And Black people, advice to you, start demanding your money. It's time. Somebody wants to ask you how your day is, Cash App request. Somebody wants you to do a show, what's their budget for performers? It's time. We're not doing anything for free. I'm not even breathing in front of white people for free right now. If you want to breathe my air, you owe me $1 per breath, because I don't have time for the bullshit. So pay what you owe, pay what you owe, pay what you owe, and then some more.
All right. So we got a few donations from that. Thank you for the inspiring speech. I think people really feel called to action, really feel that call to action you gave. Where can people support you?
Lit. You can support me via Cash App, hashtag EDMREG4, or through Venmo at Reggie Poetry. And once again, before I go, pay what you owe.
All right. Pay what you owe. Nice. So we are almost at our goal of 500. We are at 315 cents. Who donated 15 cents? I don't know, but it was probably someone who gave us all their money, which you should also do. Everything that's in your bank account, put it like that's how you balance out a budget. Just put everything to zero and into a nonprofit. That's how you do it. So let's get up to 500 by the end of the night. So on deck, we have our lovely feature of Meccamorphosis. If you know who that is, you are in for a treat. If you don't, you gonna learn today. But give maximum love to our last performer of the showcase. Give it up for Sean William.
You are muted. I'll unmute you. You are still muted.
Hello. Thank you very much. I was on that Teddy Riley Wi-Fi. This poem I'm gonna do. A couple of weeks ago, I had a post on Facebook about Sierra, Future, and Russell Wilson that went viral.
Oh yeah, niggas was mad.
Yeah, and I was tripping that people were upset on it. So this poem is dedicated to the fuck niggas in my comment. You a bitch. Third generation of a long line of hoe-ass niggas. The byproduct of fake alpha males that talk pro-blackness but hate black women, it stems back to your unresolved mommy issues. Instead of breaking cycles, you break women, then break out when a woman misses her cycle. Lying ass niggas rather lay up in bed than be stand-up men pillow talking for promises and a place to stay. Damn, I guess it's true, you do look like your daddy. Leaving when shit gets real, playing victim old hotep woke ass nigga in videos talking about bitter black women, not realizing that you sound like a bitter black man. You can't call yourself a king if the queen's unhappy. And it takes two to tango. So why you dancing around the fact that your actions caused a lot of her reactions? Cheated while she was pregnant, made more excuses than payments. Maybe if you would have been honest from the jump and told her that she was just a jump off, put a condom on the dick, you probably wouldn't be in this predicament. But something about playing women's like boys play on bikes, show them off, ride them rough and dirty, and the shit's off the chain, and you be mad as fuck if a nigga else wanted to ride. So the cycle continues. And this is where the comment section gets lit. Hit dogs holler, calling me all kind of simps, suckers, gay, claiming that I don't get pussy and I'm only doing this poem to get pussy, not realizing that I've been getting pussy way before doing poems. And maybe that's the problem. Masculinity shouldn't be defined on how much vagina a man gets. That if we truly boys, I should be able to tell my boys, boy, you tripping, do better. Breaking women to build our self-esteem is tired. That if we need to give our sons more than just our last name and our misogyny, seeing a man that looks like him respect his mother, how can you love your daughter correctly if you hate her reflection? That's like loving the stars but hating the moon, and it's fucked up. And yes, there are women weaponize their children against their fathers, but let's not act like every man is exempt. Take accountability because your children are watching. This poem is not simping or caping. This is a love poem, extremely masculine, unapologetically black as fuck, and way more alpha male than what you niggas claim to be. Dedicated to my brothers who are willing to listen. Our fathers didn't give us if you lied, manipulated, and broke the mother of your child. The woman who risked her life to give life. Instead of being defeated, she decided to jump into the game feet first with a killer Mamba mentality, better playbook, ball in her court, and a court system as her two guard, double teaming you and her pockets, making it hard for you to get your shot off. Don't you dare give me that bitches ain't shit speech now that you down. Check ball, bruh. Check nuts. Check yourself, or maybe stop playing games, because you can't play player and play victim at the same goddamn time.
Woo! Yeah, that comment section was extra ashy.
Oh, you saw it. Niggas was just like, I was getting DMs and all kinds of shit. I'm like, nigga, wait, work out your problems. This is deeper than me.
Yeah. If you mad about that poem, you probably ashy too.
Definitely.
You know, I got a poem about hoteps that I was gonna do in a competition tomorrow. I don't even want to do it no more. I low-key just want to steal yours, but shit, that was great.
Groupies.
Groupies.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Where can people find more of your work and support you?
You can follow me at I Am Sean William. Also, I'm part of two collectives. One, dope poetry collective called Fiveology. Myself, Prentice Powell, Dr. Javon Johnson, Rudy Francisco, and Andrew Tyree. Before this pandemic happened, we were supposed to have a residency at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. That will happen again next year. So we're doing that. But during this pandemic time, I'm also part of a collective called Introverse Live. We have events every Monday and we have open mics on Wednesday and Friday. That collective is Masterpiece Blues, Prentice Powell again, Black Chakra, and who else? Yeah, so that Masterpiece, like I said. So please support. It's about providing platforms for our community, for artists, and just keep it going. And like the other person said, pay up, white folks, you owe us. And I'm older, so you need to pay me more.
Righty. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having this platform and keeping the Oakland and Berkeley Slam tradition going. So I appreciate you guys as well.
Honestly, we just bored in the house and we in the house bored. That's really all it is. Yeah, we're glad to provide this platform and definitely to see an OG like you come through. All right. Let's get this show moving right along. So that was our last performer of the showcase. Next, we have our amazing feature, Meccamorphosis. Meccamorphosis is a poet based out of Baltimore. I watched her at iWhips kick ass and come in second place. So she's ranked second in the world. She'll try to tell you like fourth or some shit because there was a tie for first, but bullshit. I'm gonna say Mecca second because that trophy say second. So
don't know what the two fell off, but it was God saying, "Don't lie, heifer, don't lie."
No, I don't tell nobody I said that, but I thought you won.
Say second in the words though. Okay, it just don't got a two no more.
And then I watched you kick ass at Rust Belt. So if you haven't had a chance to see Mecca perform live, I am sorry. This is like the best we can do, and nowhere compares to how much power Mecca's voice carries in person. But we'll try over the live stream.
Oh my God, I got the microphone.
Yes, I got my microphone too. We fancy.
See, we got equipment. We be doing stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God, y'all, I am okay. So I'm glad I came to the full live. I didn't think I was going to be able to make it to the full live and just make it to the ending, purely because today I was defeated. Like really, I gotta say, because I mean, I'm no longer in a super depressed state that I was when the protests and all that. I don't want y'all to see all my Red Bull cans, but it's like I'm no longer in that depressed state where I was just like, I can't do anything, I can't write no more, I can't do nothing, blah blah blah. But you know, I think now that I'm in a state where I'm mentally healthy, but I am exhausted, and now I'm just angry, and because I can't help but feel that us as a unit, we have failed Breonna Taylor, we have failed so many Black people that have just been put under the radar, and the energy shift is nuts to me. It's like, what happened? I thought we were burning America down. When we gonna do it? So here's my thing. I wrote this while I was listening to all of y'all because it was just what I was feeling right now. So bear with me if I mess up a little bit because I am a little tipsy, but I'm gonna try my best to get through it. But I am glad that I came through for the full live because y'all gave me a lot of joy. Y'all made me very happy. All right. Breonna has a law now. Breonna's law states that they have outlawed no-knock warrants, meaning you can't just roll up on niggas and kill them, cute. As if that wasn't common sense or common law. And since we are naming laws after Black women after the law has killed them, Sandra's law says, get the fuck away from my car. Cops who care more about backlights than Black lives don't get to touch me. Corinne's law says, get the fuck out of my house. Because I don't only got kids in here. I got a shotgun too to protect them with. Oluwatoyin's law says, get the fuck away from my body. We are no longer defending losing our voice or our lives for Black men who contribute to our trauma and forget our names with my law. My law says we are done being there too late for Black lives who don't get looked at twice. We fight while we are living. We fight while we live it. We fight while our eyes are still vivid. And I think there's something wrong with Breonna's law there was something wrong when Breonna's law was written. Breonna's law says fuck the police. Says we Says we don't give laws before we give justice. Says this shit ain't over until America is at its knees and realizes how it feels to beg for people to believe that you should be alive. That's that first piece. And I told y'all, I'm pissed. I know it was a little rough, but I'm pissed. Like, it's just ridiculous to me how easy it is for people to just transfer and move on. Because I'm like, we don't get to move on. So I remember, so randomly this old thing came up to me from health class, and we were talking about how, like, when you're young, you don't get to feel, you feel invincible when you're young. And, you don't think about illnesses. You don't think about, getting sick or diseases and stuff like that. When you're Black and you're young, you always have to think about whether or not, just thinking about in a neighborhood aspect, not just sicknesses, you always have to think about whether or not you are going to die. And that thought never cemented to me until after the first time I protested back in 2015. And then we got arrested for protesting. And then I realized when I was 18 and my friend was still 17, I was like, oh my God, I can't go with my friend. What if something happens to her? And then I end up going to adult central bookings and stuff like that. And it was the most scariest thing, not knowing what was happening to her until I saw her afterwards. So it's like you always have that fear, especially when you have to look at the possibility in the face. So with that being said, I'm actually gonna move on and talk about the fact, I don't know if anybody knows about Oluwatoyin. She is a 19-year-old Black activist who was just found, and she was murdered. I'm not trying to traumatize the Black people that's in the chat. This is for the white people. I'm not going to even go into detail. Look it up, because that is for y'all. What is that? That's not even just for the white people. That's also for the Black men. That's all. It's like she was found yesterday, and I swear to God, I didn't find out until today from a video that my friend made. Nobody was talking about it. And this is the second time I randomly heard about a Black woman activist just getting found somewhere. So if a penny saved was a Black girl returned, would it be easier for you to pay attention to our gaps in evidence and aggravations? You can't find Black girls because of doubt, but found Tom Brady's jersey because of all his clout. So Black life don't hold precedence unless it involves dead presidents. If only we evolve past ignorance, what common sense is it? Treating our girls like common sense. Our mistreatment has been common since America started its great coin collection. These pretty pennies getting lost in couches and mattresses and streets and alleys in DC and Baltimore in Nigeria 60 years ago, 200 years ago, and 1,000 more years to come, just slipping through the cracks of time. And y'all white women marched through DC streets searching for your independence, but in March, you don't want to put your hands in the draining work of activism, afraid to touch something dirtier than your intentions. Why haven't I gotten Amber Alerts for our Black girls? Like Amaya don't want to come home either. Your movement is two-faced, and why I flip out, because me and those girls got the same face, and if they are runaways, it's because they're being mistreated and beaten at home and won't be left alone because of the copper of their tone, and by their own they are sold because they are few shades darker than gold. It boils my blood to the mineral. Now ain't it irony how most men curse Black women's names before they say them, then trick their ways to lay with them? There is sex traffic in our cities, and these girls have been paying the tolls. Why must we choose through the different abuse? Sexual, emotional, or systematic? America make it seem like we must choose the latter instead of use the latter to raise to a better solution. I pray this poem pipe your children from the rats that try and kill them. I try to connect to our curl pattern, but there's only a price. Over their head, they hold on to my lungs at night, so I scream for them in the daylight. It seems these penny dreadfuls end before you start them, since every scene is a disappearing act. My girl Sadia said black girl magic shouldn't work like that. So I put my 2 cents in to get our girls back. They falling deep underwater, and these cops only wishing well. They don't care if a black girl saved was a penny earned. We can give them the living they deserve. I want these hashtags turn tic-tac-toe, crossing out where X marks the spot every time we find these treasures, burn through the cities until my embers alert screaming. Where are they? Where are my black girls? Where is the change? Thank you.
Wow.
It's just really sickening
Mm-hmm.
to constantly have to write about this shit. And I think people think we think this shit is fun, and it's not. When I first started doing poems and all that stuff, like on my lives, it's because what does activism at home look like? And when you're an artist or, you know, a speaker, what does it look like? I just put out poems. That's all I really could do. That's all I felt what I could do without feeling helpless. But it's just interesting how people think all this shit is for fun. I'm gonna read a piece from my book.
My book.
Yeah, don't look at my dresses. Okay. All right. Cause it's like I feel like, so back in our city, just a little bit of tea, I suppose, activism tea. Because it just feels like lately a lot of the black men in our city have been crawling on the backs of black queer people, black women, black trans folks, in their activism, and just skyrocketing in fame and glory. And I'm like, it's just so weird, because it's like, how do you protect people who look like your trauma? So, I mean, this piece doesn't really address that, but it's just me really just thinking about it, just off my, it's like, I've been thinking about that all day. It's like, these black men don't care about me. And I'm like, oh, so, and then also after the protest, even before the protest, when you've been inside the house for 3 months and your fam say, hey, we need you, I'ma go. But I'm outside literally thinking that, oh my God, am I going to die? Now, here's when I say this, and I feel like people don't understand the difference. We have activists who be like, oh, they gonna kill me. Nah, I am a black woman speaking out loud in front of everybody. I think I'm going to die. There's a difference. I'm not trying, I don't want to be a martyr. That's not on my bio. So it's just like, that's what people need to understand. When people say that we think we're going to die, it's not because of martyrdom. It's because that's what we were born to think. A lot of my friends don't even think they're going to make it past 25. It's bullshit. It's bullshit to have to wake up and feel that way. But things to unlearn, number 007. I am traveling to blank. And the black men here love that I don't look like the black women they know. They love that I am not mirrors they see themselves in. They see my body as a vacation to forgetting where they are from. They love the different, the other, while never actually loving at all. Loving this flesh that looks like escape and not home. That's that piece. And people keep saying like, we don't talk about the issues that are going on in our community. Nigga, the issues that's going on in our community, we do talk about it. It's like, what do you want us to do? We have to talk, we have to bring you white people into our little meetings about our black communities. No, Oh God, people get on my nerves. I think really it's just like people just get on my nerves. Like y'all are looking at a tired Black person. This is an embodiment of tired. I'm like, I'm over it. Even today, I was like, man, how am I going to be entertaining? Because I'm so over it. Oh my God. But how much time do I got? How much time I got? What's the clock looking like?
Like 7 minutes.
Word. All right. So now these white people, on to y'all. Colin. Y'all don't see what I see. I see everybody up at the top there.
White people look at us handling our own community and think they exempt from this work.
They not. Oh, no. I'll talk to y'all, but now I'm gonna talk to y'all. White women wear me out like costume. Like every day Halloween and every day she Halle Berry, she or Rachel Dolezal, the bane of my existence. She merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it, by dark nights when my dark skin ain't feel right. Some of them are white feminists who only support you when it benefits. They love how my culture fit, but it's counterfeit. I mean, she over the counter lit, spray tans, edge control, bamboo earrings, cornrows. My skin be a hue that gets little to no coverage unless it's on the news or unless it's on you. Y'all love that Urban Decay. She looking so much like me. Shea Moisture try to put her on. She looking at me so hard, she about to put me on. White girl wear me out as long as she could wash me off. And after this, she gonna be real quick to call me a racist when she don't even know what race she is. Talking about Black friends, but they all decor to her allyship. And as soon as you get comfortable, so does their racism. And I'm like, what happened, Bethany? Did you forget there's a Black person attached to this woman? Won't you walk with me after the march? Or would you rather walk in my skin but never my shoes? Tell me, Hallie, does it make you feel good? Wearing me out, that dark skin, that's something I am still learning to love. Thank you. Thank you. Man, yeah, why y'all get y'all shit together? That's all I can say. I mean, everybody says everything. Get your friends. Get your friends. That's my approach to white people right now. Get your friends. I'm over it. Oh my God, speaking of that poem, this little white girl, her name was Bethany, she hit me up. She's like, oh my God, my name's Bethany, and I did something racist to my friend, and this really spoke to me. I was like, did you speak to your friend though? Did you speak? Where's she at? Can you send her to my DM so I can talk to her? I don't want to talk to you. I wrote about you, sweetheart. Oh my God, when I first wrote that poem, it was this white girl who did not like me, and she swore up and down, oh my God, she wrote this poem about me. I'm like, girl, I do not have I fight. I don't have energy to be writing poems about people. I fight. Where's my taser? Bzz, bzz. That's what I do. People keep listen. Let me tell you something about certain poets. Y'all need to stop messing with us. Some of us got weapons.
Some of us were hood niggas before we were poet
right?
Niggas.
Like I don't think, honey. But I want to discuss something before I get into my softer pieces. I feel like it's so unfortunate because I think the only reason why a lot of people are liking my poems recently, like just like on the internet or whatever, because I'm like this angry Black person, and I'm only angry because America is making me angry, and God, there's not enough flowery. That's the word, flowery. Oh Jesus, there is not enough flowery language in the fucking world to cover up the stench of what America makes me speak about. You feel me? It's like we can't sugarcoat this shit anymore. But I don't like that feeling. I just hate that feeling where it's just like, I feel like white people really have to evaluate themselves on why they are listening to certain people and how they are digesting our work. Because it's like, are you digesting my work because you are enjoying whatever caricature you're building in your mind about me, or are you listening to my work because you're actually listening? You feel me? It's like, I feel like it's just got to be this. You gotta continuously reevaluate yourself. Like, you have to do that. You have to do that in order to increase whatever work you're trying to add towards. Because I'm not doing this. I write for Black people. So white people can send me all these messages and blah, say blah about how they feel. I don't care about what you feel. I'm not writing for you. If you get mad, you're going to have to be mad by yourself. But yeah, fuck them. I'm going to my next piece. I don't even know what it is. But I mean, I just want to talk about some Black resistance, which is living. Living while Black is resistance. Don't look at my red book can. Stop that. Ooh, I love this poem. I know Black women who walk in their house backwards to stare back demons that follow them home, and the devil stay mad because we rarely blink. That's from my friend Wifty. I think they watching. All right, so. All right, this one is from my friend Xavier, and it's one of my favorite poems. All my favorite poems are poems about my friends. Kikiing when we wasn't supposed to be, I asked my friend, oh my God, why can't you whisper? And in a voice as full as his hair, he tell me, girl, I'm Dominican. Whispering does not exist for us. My body vibrates in a silent laughter, the ones that get caught in your chest with no chances of escaping, and makes me wonder why whispering is so easy for me. Why making my voice small enough is my first thought. Everything about me is already inappropriate while being appropriated. My mouth only knows 3 tongues: English, whispering, and silence. All languages of the colonizer, and don't the devil speak in whispers, making every S stronger for the hissing, whispering, not to alert the predators. So I hope every day Xavier's voice can be heard from his lips to God's ears. I hope it is a noise that never stops catching attention prey. He never get used to silence or silence the way loud people like us are. I always show what my mouth can do because I'm a Black girl and sometimes told I don't exist. And that me, nor our relationship resembles a damned whisper. It is our bright ass colors, loud, like 2 friends kikiing when we not supposed to be. We are living loud as hell while the world whispers we ain't supposed to be. I love that poem. I really do. Because we Black out here. I got 2 more poems for y'all. Is that cool? All right. This poem was inspired by a piece by Jenny C. Jones's sculpture, A Composition of Black Keys. If you look it up, it's really it's so I don't know what, when I saw it, it's literally just Black keys on a parchment, and I couldn't help but think, like, this is what Black people look like when they are detached from whiteness. When you take the sharps off of a piano. And I was like, yo, that is amazing to me. So this is what inspired that piece. Play me a song made with only the Black keys. I want you to show me what ebony sounds like when Blackness is caressed by loving hands, fingers pushing them to sing. I could never love a piano without its sharps, for it no longer looks like a Black child with a gap or a snaggletooth between its teeth and cheeks, from over west to over east to Baltimore, always daring to smile with a grand piano in jaw. Black babies you cannot master, this talent you cannot muster. Black children are my favorite song. They deserve to be pushed by loving hands. That's my poem. Oh, wait, can I have one and a half poems? It's just this one poem that I really do enjoy. Okay, So this poem is called Things to Unlearn, number 404. A common critique I get, if you, oh, sugar balls. Let me start over. Okay. A common critique I get, you cry if the wind blows. Of course, who else is going to remind me how to breathe and move on? I cry for practice. It is the most important part of my day. I cry for breakfast. I cry for my mom. I have all the tears she had to hide from me. I cry so I cannot hide from me, my God. As the wind blows, I will not hide. I will cry for me. That one's for my mommy. All right, my last poem. Hopefully I don't make Reggie cry. Oh my God. I don't know. I feel like this poem always make you cry. I don't know what's going on. I always give a little backstory before this piece. This piece is dedicated to all my Black friends. A lot of us don't believe that we are going to live very long because of our environment, because of how we grew up. And I wanted to write something for them because somebody has to be, even when I can't do it, I feel like there's something that has to be a reminder that we are still here and we are still together. And no matter what happens, we will be fighting for each other to live and to love. So this is to Aaron. I should have hugged you harder. I write poems differently now. My poems were written in holes. The in-between lines stretched open like a banshee screaming in hopes of breaking the half-empty glasses in me. Each word a kindling rock, both the stepping stone and the flame, burning a bridge to who I was, sometimes burning me in the process. But I still see her across the island. She sent me paper plain memories saying, forget me not or you will find your way here again. And I'm scared I'll get there because these hands haven't finished a poem in some months now and I've become a page half empty, an unfinished poem, crumbled and tossed, scrapped for its good lines and gone, and it's been harder to stretch myself into something full, desirable, familiar, and entertaining, something I didn't write for just me. But I performed the hell out of it though. My smile bigger than spotlight. But when it goes out, it's dark out here and everyone is gone, except the front row of people who have always been there for me, even if I can't see them. In the distance, I hear scribbles like pen on paper because it's them on paper ready to fight for me when I can't. And I forget because trust is a poem I've yet to memorize. And they've showed me in the heartbeat of their literature that a poem is never finished. It just simply stops moving. They know how to turn me into a paper boat, tell me I've cried too much and not to waste water. Use all of this to get to the next island, so I write differently now. I write poems that look like them, and they look like a notebook full of the best unfinished poems, and we all taking turns to put it all out on the line, protecting each other from those whose hands look like dirty erasers, look like they so used to crumbling a perfectly good poem, and that's exactly who he is. Bind it together. We, made of glittery black ink that looked like Odyssey, telling a story of what was and what could be. See, we love each other. And that's why it's so easy for us to keep loving other people, especially ourselves. Semicolons dancing on our milestones and not our tombstones. Not even God could end a poem on this day. I tell them, we gonna write it all down until it's a run-on sentence far past a finishing line, until it transcends from haiku to sonnet to something epic, until it's just your palm print in words, until it sounds like a grandparent story, like and then, and then, and then, and then, until we stop moving without our permission. But for now, please hold my hand tight enough that space and time cannot get through, and let's write something different today. Let's write something someone can hear but cannot smudge. Something that feels like forever. Something that will be. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. You can follow me everywhere but my house at Meccamorphosis.
Where can people can people buy your book?
My book don't come out until the fall, but there is a newsletter. There is a newsletter for like when you can. I'm gonna be doing a lot of different stuff before then. Like I'm gonna interview different Black women that I know. What else? I'm gonna be having I have an art competition going on right now for my book cover. What else? I'm gonna also have like a thing where people can tell me their stories and different people can win a free book.
Ooh.
So, you know, just make sure you follow me. I do have a YouTube channel. I haven't been on there in a while. I'm going to be doing more Instagram stuff. So please just follow me on IG. And, you know, TikTok as well. Mecca.morphosis on TikTok, and on Instagram, just Meccamorphosis. But yeah, that's everything.
All right. Thank you so much.
Should I say this? Somebody said white folk love a newsletter.
I know who that somebody is. You know that's Reggie's ass acting a damn fool.
I don't know where to put the newsletter, but the newsletter is in the bio of my IG page. So just follow the newsletter. It will notify you about all the different things that I'll be doing leading up to the book release.
Nice. So definitely check out Mecca's Instagram. Check out Mecca's Cash App. Because did you just read out of a book that ain't out yet? That sound like somebody should pay you.
Oh, I mean, yeah, please. I've been doing that. I can't. I'm just like my mother. I can't hold water. I can't hold water, yo. Huh?
What's your sign?
Gemini.
Oh, I knew it. It had to be. Geminis are terrible at secrets.
Oh my God. No, I can keep them to a degree. Like if it's like super serious, I'm good. I just forget about it.
But some bullshit, nah.
No, I just make myself forget about it. You don't got questions for me. You had questions for everybody else. You got questions for me. I want it's like that. Somebody is asking if you can. The way you spell my name is Mecca, like Mecca, and then Morphosis, Morphosis. So it's metamorphosis, but just with Mecca. I was not that clever with it, I promise.
All
We
right.
weren't clever. Why isn't there another Meccamorphosis?
Because I did it. It's me. Because it's just me. I was there first. Oh, actually, no. There's a makeup line, and then I need them to give me my coin.
Do they have dark skin shades?
No.
So I don't think they Meccamorph shit.
They ain't do shit. It's like a skincare thing.
Right. Update on our fundraiser. We have raised $369.70.
Pay what you owe.
Let's set a goal of by the end of tonight. So y'all got, let's see, 2 hours. Unless you in another state, which means you owed us like up to 3 hours ago.
Oh wow, that's a funny statement.
But yeah, let's try to get up to 500 by the end of tonight. We have our goal of $1,000 by the end of the week. We have a showcase tomorrow as well with the Berkeley Slam, so check us out there. Thank you to everybody who has read tonight. If you want to see any more poetry, from us. Follow Rich Oak Alchemy, follow the Oakland Slam, follow Berkeley Slam, follow San Jose, follow Root Slam, follow everybody in the Bay. It's a really great community. Also, follow Bay Poets Unite. They're really putting on for the poetry videos for us Bay folks, because we get left out, y'all. We get left out. But not anymore. We have a platform for our Bay Area artists to get their videos out there. So check out Bay Poets Unite. Thank y'all everybody for coming out to this amazing showcase. I don't know what else to say. Spay and neuter your pets.
Thanks for having me. Even though y'all low-key finessed me. I was like, no, it was so funny. It was so funny. I was like, wait, I'm featuring? And Reggie's like, yeah, you ain't know you get paid. I'm like, okay.
I can see how I might have been intoxicated when I booked you, so maybe I can see how I might not have been clear.
We are still live, y'all. Just FYI. Just
it's okay.
But I am.
I'm here. This is a testament to Reggie's booking skills. Like, oh, you coming? It's okay.
Reggie was a hustler, okay?
Like your auntie that's telling you that you're gonna get another plate.
Gang. While we was over here bullshitting, somebody donated $140. So
we hit our goal.
My math is right. We are at our $519 goal. So you know what that means? We leveled up. So our new goal is by the end of the night, let's see if we can get to $750. And be 3/4 of a way done with our goal before the end of the week. Let's make it happen, y'all. I believe in y'all.